Our journey is not complete until we find a better way to welcome the striving, hopeful immigrants who still see America as a land of opportunity, until bright young students and engineers are enlisted in our workforce rather than expelled from our country.
President Barack Obama signaled once again in his inaugural speech this week that immigration reform is a top goal in his second term. One day later, San Diego Mayor Bob Filner addressed a rally backing comprehensive changes in U.S. immigration policies. Here to discuss what reform might look like and whether it should even happen are Pedro Rios, director of the American Friends Service Committee, and Ted Hilton, chairman of the Taxpayer Revolution. Pedro, let's start with you. There are anywhere between 11 million to 12 million undocumented workers in this country. There's a lot that comes under the immigration reform umbrella: amnesty, path to citizenship, guest worker program, just legal status. What does immigration reform look like to you?
For our coalition, there are three fundamental points. One is what to do with the a million people that are here or more. Creating a pathway to citizenship, I think, is the first point. Secondly, it would be doing something that holds agents accountable, that creates oversight mechanisms, that makes agencies transparent. And then thirdly, ensuring that there are protection of workers' rights. Specifically, if there's talk about implementing much more types of programs that review people's employment status at the workplace.
And Ted, where do you stand on immigration reform? What do you want to see happen?
Well, first of all, Pedro and I agree there are about 7.5 million illegal migrants working in the United States. You had said 11 or 12, but that's the total number of people.
Right.
Residents, right. So what we're looking for is for the Department of Social Services to become an employment office. And we have 4 million welfare recipients who say they can't find jobs. So they need to get those jobs for those people. As well, the prisoners and the parolees who come out of prison are paroled to the streets. We have a 70% recidivism rate. So we need to have those people gain employment. And we need to help those people. We also have a serious disability fraud problem in the United States. We have over half of the disability recipients are claiming mood disorder or some very suspicious ailment, which is very difficult to disprove.
So you're thinking that those people will return to the payrolls and you want jobs available for them. Do you see them as competing for the same jobs that undocumented workers are?
Some of them are going to have to take those jobs whether they like it or not.
Now,
just like the 1930s.
Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain recommitted themselves to immigration reform soon after the November election. A poll came out this week by AP saying that 2/3 of Americans actually favor opening up a path to citizenship for undocumented residents. What are you doing and others to make sure that voices like yours are heard in this immigration debate?
Well, we're educating the public as much as we can. We have congressmen that don't agree with that and that know that we have an entitlement problem in the United States. In the 1930s, half of the legal immigrants left the United States. We had Caucasians picking the crops. Today, there are so many entitlement programs: food stamps, subsidized housing, welfare, free lunch for your children at school. These things didn't really exist in the 1930s. People just did the jobs. Now everyone has an excuse. They find some type of benefit and they stay on that benefit. And we can't go down that path any longer. We just don't have the money. We're $16 trillion in debt in this country.
Pedro, as you know, the Republicans took a real drubbing in the November elections. We do see the party softening its position on immigration reform. How big of a political necessity is it for them?
Well, if the Republicans want to remain politically relevant, they need to be tuned into the desires and the needs precisely of the immigrant community. It's not the 1930s anymore. We're in a much more globalized world. We need to ensure that we're meeting those needs and ensuring that people have access to the basic fundamental protections and rights that this country offers them.
Ted, yesterday there was this rally. Bob Filner said we need to change the way we see the border here in San Diego. How do you see the border here in San Diego?
Well, they are two different countries. We're closer to Maine philosophically than we are to just Tijuana across the border. But, I mean, we can share cultural, events, those types of things. But I still feel that we need to focus on the Americans that need to work rather than be paroled to the streets or collect unemployment on an extended basis. I mean, we just can't continue that.
We're going to have to wrap it there, unfortunately.
Okay.
Ted, Pedro, thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Thank you.